Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are here with Austin from Ohio, and today is Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. I hope everybody's doing well today, obviously, as well as you can be. I know I am, trying to, make sense of it all like everybody else, and, just trying to keep up with what's going on as it's going on, keep on trekking toward the, not even toward, we're now in the New World Order, but now trekking further into the New World Order, and a lot of people still don't seem to get it, even though it's pretty mainstream now. I mean, they're coming on the 6 o'clock news in Australia, London, other places, and they're literally saying the phrase New World Order. And like I said before, I'm convinced that they could come out tomorrow and say, not even tomorrow, today, I'm convinced that they could come out and say, hey, we need to kill off this many people or that many people because we need to preserve the rest of the people from dying by the hands of those who are unvaccinated or whatever. I have no idea. But people would accept it. All you need is 51% of the population over the 49%. And that's how democracy works. A lot of people don't understand the difference between those two words, democracy and republic. I've had people tell me, aren't those the same thing? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And then when I explain it to them, they're like, oh, well, that kind of makes sense. Which, you think? Anyway, now check this out. We all know that Facebook and all related apps, Facebook-owned apps and websites went down yesterday. Well, now there's more. It's like the old Billy Mays commercials with the OxyClean. But wait, there's more. Who broke the internet? Major outages hit Bank of America, Southwest Airlines, Zoom, Snapchat, and others after Facebook crash. I don't know if anybody understands this yet, but they are literally, this is what you do when you're testing. They're testing a lot of things. They're testing our reaction. They're testing what they could do once these things go down, because we know that they're preparing. We know that they've held Cyber Polygon over the summer. We know that they plan on taking down this current grid. That's why it wasn't upgraded in the last 100 or so years. We still use the same wooden poles with the same wires. Same kind of systems. Barely ever upgrade them at all whatsoever on purpose. You get a good enough storm, it's going to knock your power out. And then they have to come out and, get it running again. All of that was on purpose. Now, do you really think that everything we have going on with like the internet, not this stuff here per se, but just in general, like all the different websites, all the different domain names, all the different, like the surface web that you can get on right now is only 5% of the internet. Literally, it's only 5% of the internet. And then there's the deep web, which is, like 95% of the internet. And then the dark web is like, the stuff where you go where you don't want to find. You just don't want to go there. That's all I got to say. You should never, ever go on the dark web. It's not a very good place to be. It's where a lot of terrible things happen. But that would be the last 5%. I think I said 95% for the deep web, but it's 90%. And then the other 5% would be the dark web, which is where you find all the trafficking and all of that stuff of humans. And very, very terrible things. But they're testing, they're setting up. They're setting up for this event that is still coming. Still on the horizon. They probably just don't know who they're going to blame it on yet. They got a whole handful of people that they could blame this on. And people in the United States are one of the main contenders. It could also be, Afghanistan after the whole debacle that happened in August. It could be Russia. That's one of their boogeymen. It could be China. But the truth is, all of those countries work together for their masters, and they are the ones who will be taking this stuff down. This is a coordinated takedown. This is a controlled collapse. They don't want a collapse that they can't control, because that means that somebody else can come in and fill that void and control it themselves, or we could turn the tide. And they definitely don't want that. So all of this is just like a slow, controlled collapse. So if you look at it, I don't even know what analogy to put with this. You guys know I like my analogies, but I don't know which. The only one that I could think of off the top of my head is like a person. A person naturally dies in front of you. You have no control over it. But if that person is on life support, then you're like softening the blow. See, I don't even know what to say about it. I don't know there's no analogy that you can really use to, compare this stuff to. It's basically, it is what it is. At face value, they're basically telling us this is what we're doing. We're going to take out the internet, and when they bring it back up, if they bring it back up, it will be under very strict regulation. You probably won't be allowed to use it unless you take their shot. But anyway, that's huge. Bank of America, Southwest Airlines, and then Zoom, Snapchat, whatever. But this could lead to a banking collapse. And the next article that I have up will show you why they might want to do that. Because they still have to take out the US dollar, right? It's literally a chapter out of COVID-19, The Great Reset, written by Klaus Schwab. The fate of the US dollar, we went over that on my very first live stream, I think it was. Either the first or second one. Many of the world's largest apps and websites, including for banks and airlines, faced a cascade of outages, all in the space of a few hours, prompting panic among netizens. Netizens, I don't know what that is. Oh, citizens of the net, I get it. Some demanded to know who broke the internet. While the glitches affected a number of popular social media platforms, among them Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, other more significant institutions also faced major tech issues on Monday, such as Bank of America, Southwest Airlines, the professional networking site LinkedIn, and cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase, all according to outage tracker Down Detector. The tracking website noted that the problems at Facebook marked the largest outage we've ever seen on Down Detector, with more than 10.6 million problem reports from all over the globe. They always got to throw that in there. However, the platform and Facebook-owned Instagram appeared to have come back to life since having been down for around 6 hours. Of course, it was down for around 6 hours. And Mark Zuckerberg lost $7 billion, but that's chump change to him, literally. And there's a lot of, speculation that it has to do with that whistleblower, and I already went over this. No whistleblower comes out in 60 minutes. 60 Minutes is not a legitimate, journalism platform. It's not a legitimate organization of journalism. These people, if it's on television, it's not in your best interest. It's owned and controlled by them. So, take that to the bank. Just not Bank of America, because it was down all day yesterday or whatever, 6 hours or I don't know. Chat apps such as Zoom and Telegram, as well as Gmail, among the world's most heavily trafficked email services, were also reportedly caught up in the internet-wide meltdown. All three have seen a major surge in use amid the COVID-19 pandemic, which has driven many firms to transition to more remote work. Monday's glitches were sure to cause headaches for countless professionals attempting to work from home, even prompting some to demand to know who broke the internet. I don't think it's who broke the internet. I think it's who intentionally crashed these certain things. I'm not even sure who this person is, Sue Fran. I'm not sure who this Ben White person is. I have no idea. Other users offered some novel theories as to what might have caused the outages, ranging from a widespread cyber attack, a clandestine CIA operation, to the usual scapegoat, the Russians. I would say the second one is the most likely. Yes, we know. Oh yeah, there's all this speculation. The Russians? See, so they already have it in people's minds. It's the Russians, it's the Chinese. No, it's all of them. And who they work for. Because, again, let's say it together. This is a controlled collapse of everything we've ever known in a revamp and rehashing of a very old idea. Very old idea that goes back to, well, Nimrod and the first world government. It remains unclear exactly what caused the widespread outages on Monday, though a Facebook employee who declined to be named told NBC the company faced a DNS, which is domain name system problem, referring to a phone book-like system used to look up individual websites. The employee added that there is no reason at this point to suspect anything malicious. But the outage nonetheless affected pretty much everything at Facebook before the issue was resolved later Monday evening. The 6-hour outage reportedly cost the platform a cool $6 billion. Oh, so a 6-hour outage cost the platform $6 billion. I wonder where that third 6 is. Probably somewhere up here. Let's see. Let's see if we can find the third 6. La-da-doo. I mean, you could get it from that, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna see if there's a more obvious one. Because it happened on October 4th, so you can do, October's the 10th month, -4 or 6, of course. Again, that might be it, actually. No, I have no idea. Oh, look, there it is. With more than 10.6 million problem reports from all over the globe. Aha, I found it. They always have to sign it. Always. You will always find their numerology in their little operations and their little propaganda. Oh, and this was updated 17 hours ago, so 7 minus 1 is 6. So there's your 666 for... And the people in here who are way better at gematria numerology than I am, you can decode this and basically prove that that's, and they mock us by doing that because they know that the general population is not keen to observe these things. So, one of those things. Moving on. Okay, so I can't get this whole article because the Wall Street Journal, you have to, it's behind a paywall, and I'm not going to pay $4 a month for the Wall Street Journal. But this is what I wanted to show you. Fed prepares to launch review of possible central bank digital currency. Oh. Is this going to be the one that, is the cryptocurrency system using body activity data? Oh, there's no cryptocurrency system using body activity data, Austin. What's wrong with you? There's no way that they would ever mine body activity data to award or take away money from you. You're not that important. Oh, well, there's a patent for that, and it's WO 2020-060606, and you can look that up on PatentScope, and it will bring it right up. And you can read it, and that's exactly what it tells you, even gives you a little diagram. So, yeah, keep living in fantasy land out there with the the real conspiracy theorists are the people that believe that all of this is just coincidence. It's insane. It's literally insane. These people suffer from Stockholm Syndrome. They will defend to the death their oppressors. Unreal. Anyway, Officials will release a paper and solicit public comment, but are unlikely to decide soon on government-backed cryptocurrency. Sure. And look, there's Jerome Powell. The Federal Reserve plans, as early as this week, to launch a review of the potential benefits and risks of issuing a U.S. digital currency as central banks around the world experiment with the potential new form of money. Fed officials are divided on the matter, making it unlikely that they will decide anytime soon on whether to create a digital dollar. They already have this stuff ready to go. Remember the digital wallets that Bill Gates was talking about? Remember years ago when people like myself and all of you and others who were making videos long before I was, they were talking about worldwide digital currency. Hell, Bill Cooper was talking about digital currency and a cashless society. You know, people called him a conspiracy theorist. Well, now they're just open about all of this. And it's a good thing, right? Because, Bitcoin is decentralized and the government can't control anything like it and it's private. And yeah. Actually, right now, I guess you could say that. But didn't Bitcoin just have a huge crash? And trust me, numbers on a screen, they can shut it down at any time. It's not something that is in your control. Fed officials are divided on the matter. Sure they are. Making it unlikely they will decide anytime soon whether to create a digital dollar. Unlike private cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, a Fed version would be issued by and backed by the U.S. Central Bank, a government entity. A government entity. The Federal Reserve, a government entity. Jeez. As are U.S. paper dollar bills. And that's all that I'm allowed to read on this one. But they're already putting it out to the public that they are deliberating over a central bank digital currency. People are going to want this. And that'll tie right into your social credit score. Which will tie right into your, how do they get your social credit score besides social media and stuff? What if you don't have that? Oh, your body activity will tell us that. Oh, well, how are you going to mine my body activity if I haven't gotten anything to where you can do that? Oh, well, you did. We just didn't tell you that's what it was for. We told you that it was for a situation that's going on right now. Yeah, so this will be the one world currency. And the best part about all of this is that the paper trail, no pun intended, will be gone, so these people will never get caught for all of their crimes against us. This will be a whole new system. And if they say it has value because the people will believe it has value. Because that's what makes value. Literally anything is worth something. And that's why I'll go back and I'll stress again. And I will stress until the day that I die. Human beings don't really understand their true nature. Why do you think barter and trade is still by far the most successful form of any kind of transactions? You have something that I want. I have something that you want. The thing that you want from me is valuable to you. It might not be valuable to me anymore, but it's valuable to you. Just go to a yard sale. I'm sure a lot of you like yard sales. You know, you get to go and you get to walk around and see what people are getting rid of that they don't want anymore that you now want. And there's a saying for that. One man's trash is another man's treasure. And that's the truth. Anything has value as long as we believe it does. But these people, they made it to where, we have these systems and they're at the top and you only can deal in their type of currency and that's it, punishable by prison. So they terrified people into accepting this form of control. I feel like nobody wonders about this stuff anymore. I feel like nobody wonders about anything at all anymore. I feel like people's minds don't even run anymore when they're just sitting around. They're just on their phones and they're outsourcing their intellect. They're outsourcing their everything to a phone. And don't have to remember anything because I can look it up. Don't have to, worry about anything because somebody else will tell me what's going on. Don't have to be good at math anymore because I have a calculator. I don't even have to read anymore because I can get things to read to me. It is crazy how successful they have been at creating this new world order in the minds of the people. Because that's where it starts. They can never have any type of system. No person or people could ever exert any form of control over somebody else unless they have conquered their mind first. Why do you think that's the first thing they go after? Because it's impossible. It is impossible to rule over somebody that you haven't convinced that you're powerful. It's really as simple as that. If you would come face to face with these people, this guy right here, Jerome Powell, or any of these other people, they bleed like you do. They put their pants on the same way. They have to go number 1 and 2 the same exact way. And I forget who said it, but it was a long time ago. Some dictator from like the old world. I want to say it was, I don't want to get it wrong. I'll have to come back and tell you guys once I find out who actually said it. But the king or monarch or whoever said that one of the most important things is to never let them see you bleed. You have to appear, and that's in the book 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. You have to appear to have no faults, no weaknesses. Everybody should read that book, by the way. 48 Laws of Power. We'll explain a lot about what's going on today and how power actually works. Moving on. Not going to spend too much time on this one, but how do you get the majority of people to accept something that you want to use for nefarious purposes? Oh, that's right. Put it out into the media as a great thing. Check this out. First of all, up here it says the CRISPR revolution. And it just so happens to say shots up there. I don't even know what that is. I really don't even know what that is. That's weird. A gene editing experiment. Let these patients with vision loss see color again. Okay. Carly Knight's vision was so bad that she couldn't even maneuver around call center where she works using her cane. Quote, I was bumping into the cubicles and really scaring people that were sitting at them, says Knight, who was born with a rare genetic eye disease. But that's changed as a result of volunteering for a landmark medical experiment. Her vision has improved enough for her to make out doorways, navigate hallways, spot objects, and even see colors. It's nice. I don't scare people, and I don't have as many bruises on my body, Knight says, laughing. Knight is one of the 7 patients with a rare eye disease who volunteered to let doctors modify their DNA by injecting the revolutionary gene editing tool CRISPR directly into cells that are still in their bodies. Let me read this again. Knight is one of the 7 patients with the rare eye disease who volunteered to let doctors modify their DNA by injecting the revolutionary gene-editing tool CRISPR directly into cells that are still in their bodies. Weren't people literally telling us like a month ago that this is not possible? I'm pretty sure in every comment section I've seen, every time somebody brought up CRISPR technology, somebody would say you're crazy. But now they're just like, yeah, we can do that. And we are doing that. This is the first time researchers worked with CRISPR this way. Earlier experiments had removed cells from patients' bodies, edited them in the lab, and then infused the modified cells back into the patients. Huh. Well then. I'm just gonna kind of skip through here. Quote, "It's really amazing technology and very powerful." Oh yeah, and this expert said. And they bring it to you under the guise of, well, in this case, restoring people's vision. But we all know what the actual ulterior motive of this is. And it's something that's going on right now. Like I said, they're just out there and they are letting it all hang out. They don't care anymore. They don't care if we know. They don't care if we know because they know that we aren't going to do anything. Or we would have done it by now. Our founders would have done it a long time ago. Man, they would have been... well, they also weren't heavily fluoridated, sedated, sprayed, poisoned, dumbed down, propagandized. Well, to this extent. So, yeah. Moving on, I got some stuff to get through today. Alright, this one is for all you parents out there with children that are still in the school system. And if you've been on this channel long enough, you have heard me say a million times, take your children out of the schools. Take your children out of the schools. Do not hesitate. Do not wait around. Do nothing except take your children out of the school. I don't have any children, and I don't plan on having any children. And this is one of the reasons. Attorney General Garland, so that would be Merrick Garland, mobilizes the FBI to address a disturbing spike of threats by parents against school boards. Teachers. Way to declare war on concerned parents who are upset that the schools have become, well, concentration camps. And this is, he issued the following statement here. I'm not sure if I can read this. I actually can, but you guys might not be able to, so I'll just read it to you in case you don't want to follow along, because a lot of you probably have eye problems, and reading small words like this is probably a task. But this comes from the Office of the Attorney General, October 4th, 2021. As you can see, this is an official document. From the Attorney General, subject, partnership among federal, state, local, tribal, and territorial law enforcement to address threats against school administrators, board members, teachers, and staff. In recent months, there has been disturbing spike in harassment, intimidation, and threats of violence against school administrators, board members, teachers, and staff who participate in the vital work of running our nation's public schools. Already. While spirited debate about policy matters is protected under our Constitution, that protection does not extend to threats of violence or efforts to intimidate individuals based on their views. Yeah, but I don't think that's what's happening here. These people aren't going against the schools for their views. They're going against the school for pushing their views onto children. Threats against public servants are not only illegal, they run counter to our nation's core values. Those who dedicate their time and energy ensuring that our children receive proper education in a safe environment deserve to be able to do their work without fear for their safety. Oh, is that what they're doing? Receiving a proper education in a safe environment? You ever see how they treat children at school nowadays? It's literally like a prison. It's set up exactly the same way. It really is. So you can be integrated into adult society already conquered, basically. This goes back to the conquering of the mind I was talking about a little bit ago. The department takes these incidents seriously and is committed to using its authority and resources to discourage these threats, identifying them when they occur, and prosecute them when appropriate. In the coming days, the department will announce a series of measures designed to address the rise in criminal conduct directed toward school personnel. Coordination and partnership with local law enforcement is critical to implementing these measures for the benefit of our nation's nearly 14,000 public school districts. To this end, I'm directing the Federal Bureau of Investigation, working with each United States attorney, to convene meetings with federal, state, local, tribal, and territorial leaders in each federal judicial district within 30 days of the issuance of this memorandum. These meetings will facilitate the discussion of strategies for addressing threats against school administrators, board members, teachers, staff, and will open dedicated lines of communication for threat reporting, assessment, and response. The department is steadfast in its commitment to protect all people in the United States from violence, threats of violence, and other forms of intimidation and harassment. Here's something for you. It is not the department's job, or is it even possible, to protect all people in the United States from violence, threats of violence, and other forms of intimidation and harassment. No one group of people can ever do that. You know how many people there are? It is impossible. And always under the guise of protecting people, do they stomp a boot right into the back of your head. And this is absolutely, people have been saying for years that the schools were, kind of forcing the parents out. And that's the truth. Parents have no power over their children anymore. At all. Whatsoever. Even though they come home at night, it doesn't matter. If your child doesn't go to school for more than 5 days, you get a cop at your door ready to arrest you. Pretty soon they're going to close the avenues for even homeschooling or unschooling. Which unschooling is what people should be doing. Homeschooling, you're still going by the curriculum of the school. You have to do their whatever online. But unschooling means that you can teach your child whatever you want him or her to learn. This is very disturbing. And I would like to see these widespread threats of violence that parents are, threatening the school board members with or whatever. And I'm sure people are getting very irate because of what's going on in our nation's schools now. First, they force your kid to go to school, right? Under threat of arrest. Well, under threat of arrest to you. You will be arrested. And now they're also mandating something at schools now. Something that you really shouldn't take, right? The mark, the Vaseline or whatever. So, if you don't want your child to get that, and you go against that, they kick your kid out of school. If your kid gets kicked out of school, they report it as an unexcused absence. If you get a consecutive number of unexcused absences, the cop shows up at your door ready to arrest you. It's literally one of those Sophie's Choice moments. Take your kids out of school while you can, because you won't be able to. People should be up in arms about this. figuratively and literally. Moving on. All right, here's a little number I came across yesterday, and I am currently in the process of trying to track this down, because even though they took it down, I am... Oh, good. Please don't, because you will crash my thing, and I will be very upset because I am already like 35 minutes in, and I will be really mad because I have to make a 2-part video, and it gets real hanky. Okay, so once I find this, I'm really going to try my hardest. I'm going to see what I can do. But secret FBI watch list leaks online. And boy, do the feds think a lot of people are terrorists. Now, we've known for years that they think that we're all terrorists. We've known that they have I actually have the Department of Homeland Security document, the Watch List Guidance 2013 Department of Homeland Security document, which literally labels all of us terrorists. There's 72 types of people in there. And I went over that before, actually. It's I think that's like the 3rd video that I ever did, was the 72 types of Americans to be considered terrorists. But now this comes out. The watch list, which included 1.9 million records, was left exposed online for 3 weeks, according to the researcher who found it. Wish I was that researcher that found it. And it literally doesn't even matter. This was probably just if it's 1.9 million records, this is just a very small list. Because the truth is, you are all on that list. We are all on that list. Here's an easy one for you. Do you believe in freedom? You're a terrorist. Do you own a Bible? You're a terrorist. Do you own a gun? You're a terrorist. Are you an animal rights activist? You're a terrorist. Are you an evangelical Christian? You're definitely a terrorist. Are you, there's so many of them. Anyone who is opposed to the New World Order, that's literally one of them. You're a terrorist. So, yeah. Literally, it's made to where everybody falls under that purview. And we know from the Patriot Act and NDAA, if they can try you as a terrorist, then you lose all type of constitutional protections. You get thrown in a hole somewhere or executed on the spot. So, as people say, there's that. Back in July, cybersecurity researcher Bob Deschenko found what seemed to be a leaked FBI watch list, naming the personal details of close to 2 million suspected terrorists. Now, I'm actually interested in this because I wonder how many people out there are speaking out openly. It's got to be around that, right? I mean, there are those of like people that watch and people that would be considered blue list. Like, if we scaled it down to like this little community that we got going on here, which is great, by the way, you guys are literally the best. I get so many emails from a lot of you, and a lot of times I can't respond, and I just like go through them. I see what you send me, I see it, but then I'll read all of them, and then I'll go back individually and type something up. I will get back to you, I promise, but I probably have read your email. You guys are literally the best. Couldn't ask for a better group of people to be here. And all of your guys' comments, they literally pick me up. If I'm having a bad day or I'm like stressing out about something, I literally can just go into the comments of any one of my videos. Go away. But I literally can just go into the comments of any one of my videos and I can just start reading them. And I will instantly feel better because there are people out there that are thinking just like me. We know what's going on. We're not going to back down in our convictions. And it's really a great thing to have. But back to the point. So, according to the Watch List Guidance 2013 document that I have, I read about 72 pages of it so far, 73, something like that. There's like 300 and some pages. I'm not even going to get through all of it because there's so many different It's really annoying to try to read that stuff, and it's really just a headache. It's really annoying. But, okay, so there are red list people. Those are the people to be taken outside and just, boom, done, gone. Nobody ever hears from you ever again. Then there's the blue list people who can maybe be re-educated, maybe not. So that would be, well, the red list, I would be on the red list. You guys, since you don't make videos and stuff, well, some of you do, but you would be on the blue list because you're watching a red lister and you're being open to what the red lister or whatever is putting out. So you will be thrown in a re-education facility. And that goes into internment resettlement operations document, Army Manual from 2010, which I'm going to go over that pretty soon because that's pretty important, especially now. And, yeah, so most people that are going to be in those camps are going to be blue listers. Then there's the yellow listers. These are the go along, get along, won't do anything, will just go along with anything you tell them to do and will walk right up into wherever you want them to. Might even take your boot and put it on their own neck. But that's whatever. But yeah. That's the point that I was making. I wanted to know about this 2 million. Anyway, Dushenko quickly filed a report to the Department of Homeland Security. He filed a report to the Department of Homeland Security. Why? Hoping the agency would issue some sort of patch to keep this data from leaking into the wrong hands, which it did roughly 3 weeks later. Why would you go? I'm not even going to get into it. It's not clear why it took so long, and I don't know for sure whether any unauthorized parties accessed it. Dushenko wrote Monday LinkedIn post describing the incident, which was first reported by Bleeping Computer. He went on to add that the exposed server where he found the watch list was already freely available on hacker-friendly search engines like Census and ZoomEye, no passwords needed. We should be able to see who's on that list, especially if it's any one of us. According to Dushenko, the data set came from the Terrorist Screening Center, FBI-led federal collective responsible for maintaining the thousands of records in the government's no-fly list, a subset of the FBI's much, much larger terrorist watch list. Yes, that is the one. The TSC includes select international partners, according to the FBI. Dushenko says the IP address linked to the leaked database was based in Bahrain. That's weird. In a nutshell, the no-fly list is exactly what it sounds like, a list of people who are branded by the federal government as potential terrorist threats and barred from boarding any planes heading into or out of or within the U.S. This appears to be the list or a portion of the list that Dushenko stumbled onto his initial research. While he couldn't say for sure whether the entire list was exposed in the leak, he was able to find about 1.9 million records detailing individuals' no-fly statuses. I thought it said statues. It's like a tongue twister. Statuses. Full names, citizenship, genders, passport numbers, and more. I do not know how much of the full TSC watch list it stored, he wrote, but it seems plausible that the entire list was exposed. Undoubtedly, a few of the names in that sea of records are going to belong to innocent people. I will be willing to bet, if I was a betting man, I would say that most people on that list are innocent people. The no-fly list is notorious for branding innocent individuals as potential threats to national security based on faulty data. Yeah, faulty. And then making it near impossible for them to get their names off. This past April, a Michigan man partnered with the American Civil Liberties Union to sue FBI Director Christopher Wray after the agency falsely accused him of being a Hezbollah agent and slapped him with the no-fly label. The terrorist watch list is made up of people who are suspected of terrorism, but who have not necessarily been charged with any crime. Dushenko wrote, "In the wrong hands, this list could be used to oppress, harass, or persecute people on the list and their families. It could cause any number of personal and professional problems for innocent people whose names are included in the list." That's the point of that list. That was the point of that list to begin with. When they got this all set up with the Patriot Act, with NDAA, with the Department of Homeland Security watch list guidance document that I have, with this, just the paradigm that was created after 9/11, literally they can just call you a terrorist at any given time. And they can do so many things to you that you really don't want to know. Unreal. Moving on. Alrighty, here we are over at the United Nations website. Oh, what am I doing here, might you ask? Well, I am going to be going through this report of the Secretary General called Our Common Agenda. Kind of sounds like something. Let me think here for a minute. They always say that they have common goals, and Daddy Bush even said that a lot. He said, "Oh, we have a shared goal across the world to create this new world order and all of this and all of that." Yeah, he went on about all of that, and George Bush Jr. and Ronald Reagan and the rest of them. They all just... Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to go through here and we're going to read this. It's not very long. It's only like, down here. And we're going to see if we can spot any similarities to maybe the Communist Manifesto. Or maybe they're using certain terminology that you could, for most people, they aren't keen to seeing through this kind of thing. So they read this stuff on it at face value and they're like, "Oh, well, it sounds great." Not knowing the deeper meaning behind any of this. Anyway, this is from the Secretary General report on Our Common Agenda. Now, for those of you who haven't been here that long, I know there are some of you. We went through the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights not long ago. And we went over the small arms documents. And the word Secretary General, think about it. That's a military title. The United Nations is a military organization. Our Common Agenda report looks ahead to the next 25 years and represents the Secretary General's vision on the future of global cooperation and reinvigorating inclusive, networked, and effective multilateralism. So already, that is code for, not even code, it's straight up, world government. Right in your face. Right in your face. This reminds me of the COVID action platform that was leaked before it even came out, before the book, The Reset, came out. The Secretary General presented his report to the General Assembly in September 2021, before the end of the 75th session of the General Assembly. Okay, we're going to go down through here. A moment for reinvigorating multilateralism. That's literally world government. There's no other way to put it. What else are you going to say it is? The UN's 75th anniversary in 2020 arrived at the time of great upheaval and peril. In the midst of the C-19 situation, member states came together to recognize that our challenges are interconnected and can only be addressed through reinvigorated multilateralism, with the United Nations at the center of our efforts. So they got a new term they're throwing around, like Build Back Better, reinvigorated multilateralism. What else do they got? New normal. Literally, this is New World Order. Right in your face. They pledged to strengthen global governance. Hello? Hello? Is anybody home? Ding dong. Yeah, who's there? Oh, yeah, it's me, Austin. Oh, what do you want? Oh, I'm just trying to tell you about the plan for world government to rule over your life and everything about it. And your children and grandchildren and their great-great-grandchildren's forever. So they think. Anyway, they pledged to strengthen global governance for the sake of present and coming generations, and to that end requested the Secretary General to report back with recommendations to advance our common agenda and to respond to current and future challenges. Their common agenda, that kind of sounds like the Georgia Guidestones. That would be their common agenda. They all work together toward it all the time. And they even tell you about it, but most people are just like, nope, I don't believe that. CNN never told me that. Fox News never told me that. So I don't believe it. I didn't see that on TV. If the world is to recover from C-19, then we are to deliver on our promises to future generations, to secure a world where everyone can thrive in peace, dignity, and equality on a healthy planet, then 2021 must be the year we change gear. Oh, it kind of seems like they did. Member states identified 12 areas of action that can only be addressed through reinvigorated multilateralism. What? Yeah, all of these problems that they create, by the way, can only be solved by one world government. Always. Always and forever will that be the case with these people, with these demons. Okay, so we got leave no one behind. Oh, that reminds me of the immunization agenda 2030 from the United Nations. Protect our planet. Oh, like, forcing everybody off the land into smart cities under surveillance 24/7 in tightly packed like sardines in those little whatever they call it. Promote peace and prevent conflicts. Abide by international law and ensure justice. Place women and girls at the center. Build trust. Improve digital cooperation. Here's a good one. Upgrade the United Nations. Here it comes. Here it comes. Remember a couple months ago, I was telling people and I was talking to you guys about when the time comes and they hand everything to the United Nations on a silver platter, we're going to see the United Nations in its true form, what it was intended to be, the world government of the entire world, with the one world army. What do you think upgrade the United Nations means? You think there's some nonprofit, peace-loving entity that just loves everybody? No, they want to kick your ass. They literally want to kick your ass. They want to stuff you in the dirt. I won't sugarcoat anything anymore. I'm done with it. I've literally had it up to here. And if you could see me right now, you would see that my hand is placed way above my head. Ensure sustainable financing. Yeah. As in, you will own nothing and you will be happy. We will control what you can buy and what you cannot buy. Freedom? Not anymore. Boost partnerships. Listen to and work with youth. Oh. Of course. Of course. Because control the youth and you control the future. Be prepared. We must think big. We need to reshape the foundations and reaffirm the core values that underpin collective action. Really, really try to read through the lines here. Read between the lines. Time is of the essence, and the choices before us are stark. Our welfare, and indeed the permanent of the human life, now depend on us working effectively together across borders and sectors that manage many shared risks and achieve a vital set of common goals, communist goals, including but not limited to those set out at the UN 75 Declaration. So, in order for them to, achieve this, what are they going to have to do? The answer is very simple. They're going to have to create a one world government in order to tackle all these modern challenges, or whatever they say. The ones that they have created, by the way, like the whole climate thing, are they not the ones geoengineering for decades now? This is ridiculous. Our welfare, and indeed the permanence of human life, now depend on us working effectively together across borders. That's the most important one right there. Nation states, see you later. Gone. Just as they've planned so long ago, before the League of Nations was ever even a thing. A global consolidation process. In response, we embarked upon a process of reflection, engaging a broad array of stakeholders, including member states, thought leaders, young people, civil society in the UN system, and its many partners. You remember stakeholder capitalism, right? We heard about it at the World Economic Forum all last year. Also more recently, since 2015, they've been talking about it. Literally just another word for fascism. No ands, ifs, or buts, no speculation needed. It's what they told us it was. They literally said corporations and government will work together in order to tackle the modern challenges, of however they make it sound. Our common agenda builds on many of the ideas that emerged during the year-long global listening exercise conducted in the context of the 75th anniversary, where more than 1.5 million people in all 193 member states voiced strong public support for international cooperation and desire for more effective, more inclusive, and more networked multilateralism in the future. They make it sound like all these member states voiced strong public support for international cooperation. Were you ever asked about it? Was I ever asked about it? No. And you never will be. Keep fighting over puppets. Keep thinking that Trump is going to come back and save you. That dude was probably there. Come on, people. Come on. And also remember, there's a spot in the, if you look at the United Nations hierarchy, there's a spot above Secretary General. And it's vacant as of right now. Guys, I am looking at a Black Hawk helicopter flying right over my head. Where are you going? If I wasn't filming this, I would be filming him right now. You bastard. Traitor! Sorry. Anyway, let's keep going. This report synthesizes key ideas that emerged during the reflection process and offers suggestions on how to take them forward. Based on these findings, we launched an extensive consultation process, including 4 different tracks. Member states. Working with the President of the General Assembly. Working with the President of the General Assembly and partners, including inclusive and formal networked breakfast series across the 12 UN 75 themes, hosted by UN Foundation. Thought leaders. Visionary thinking from a diversity of eminent thought leaders around the world and across different regions on Reinvigorating Multilateralism for Accelerating Progress on Global Commons. Young thinkers, innovative ideas from young thinkers and active citizens under the age of 30 to explore a reimagined social contract and a new global deal for next and future generations as part of the international system. How many times do we have to tell you that they are building a one world government? Here it is. Are you blind? I'm not talking to you guys, my regular listeners. I'm talking to the morons that just so happen to stumble across this channel. Do me a favor. Go get a baseball bat. Bash yourself in the head a couple times. See if you can knock some neurons together and start rubbing it together and see if you can process some kind of original thought. We the peoples. What's that sound like? Artificial intelligence enabled worldwide digital consultations. Following up from UN 75 global dialogues to gather inputs, galvanize networks, innovate bold ideas, and activate champions to achieve our common agenda priorities. That just sounds like artificial intelligence is going to rule the world. They're telling you plain as day. An inclusive approach. Our common agenda is led by the Executive Office of the Secretary General with support from the UN Foundation and Ngarpe Institute, along with a network of partners from all regions engaging a diverse ecosystem of global experts, youth, civil society, parliamentarians, private sector, universities, and think tanks. Contributions to our common agenda. A movement for reinvigorating multilateralism. A vision and plan for next and future generations. Here it is. Literally, here it is. The next 5 years, 2021 and beyond. Check this out. UN 2.0. Oh, man. I can't read that, but I will link this so you guys can read it. C-19 response. Our world can only get ahead of the C-19 situation one way: together. A global response based on solidarity will save lives, protect people, and help defeat this vicious virus that has already claimed more than 2 million lives. 2 million lives? In 2 years? That's way less than even 1% of the world population. So they're just admitting to you that it's not a pandemic. Excuse me. Decade of action. Of course, Agenda 2030. With just 10 years to go, an ambitious global effort is underway to deliver the 2030 promise by mobilizing more government, civil society, businesses, and calling on all people to make the global goals their own. And they go on about gender equality and climate change. Come on, guys. We really need to pick it up. They're literally just telling people straight up. Straight up. I can't even believe this. Look at all the different countries' flags that are going to become one. Come on. They literally just did this. It's right in front of you. It's at the door, literally. It won't be long before UN is occupying your city. I can't deal with it. I really can't. I can because I'm doing this. I have to do this. I can't not do this. This is why I started making videos. I saw this stuff accelerating, getting worse. And I'm not being a Debbie Downer. I'm not being a fearmonger. There's no fear in this voice that you hear right now. No, what you are hearing is vigilance. If I could, I would walk right up, knock on the door of this UN General Assembly, and say, hey, fuck all of you. Nobody wants this, and I would be by myself in doing it. And I will gladly go to jail and sit there with a smile on my face. This is the time where we need to be telling people with stuff like this. We can't just say like, and you know, they polluted the water so much. They've muddied everything up on purpose. Disinformation campaign. Remember the CIA director under George Bush Sr., William Casey? He said, we'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. Do you think he was just messing around? Do you think he wasn't telling you a realistic scenario or realistic goal? And what's this with the upgrade the United Nations? They're getting ready to hand it over to him. In the foundation, in the UN Charter, we went over that too. If you've been here a while, we went over where it said that the U.S. will be the world's police force until a time where everything is done. Then they hand it over to the United Nations on a silver platter. I'm going to look more into that, and then I'll put it in the next video. Let's pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.